The question is that the House do now adjourn. I call the honourable member for Durack.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Building Australia's bilateral ties and maximising the value of our exports with our closest neighbour, Indonesia, was the key focus of an agricultural forum held in Broome on February 28. This was the first time the Northern Beef Industry Producer Forum had been held in Western Australia, so I was delighted that it could take place in my electorate of Durack, particularly with so many key government and industry representatives in attendance from the Australian and Indonesian governments. This included my federal colleague, the Minister for Agriculture, and the relevant agricultural ministers from Western Australia, Queensland and Northern Territory. Of particular note, however, was key guest speaker and attendees who were representing the Indonesian government at the forum. During the course of the conference, we heard about the current beef situation in Indonesia, including Indonesia's perspective of Australian investment and how we can seize on the many market opportunities that are available. This was particularly timely given last year's removal of Indonesia's cattle import quota, with the level of imports now determined by price alone. The new set benchmark is 76,000 rupiah a kilogram. The Indonesian government has previously expressed disappointment at the level of direct Australian investment in Indonesia, and in particular its cattle industry, with the country being our closest export market. As those in the House will be aware, Indonesia is the largest economy in Southeast Asia and is projected to be the world's 7th largest economy by 2030. This is why Australia cannot afford to sit back and wait for these investment opportunities to pass us by. We need to seize on our market opportunities with Indonesia and focus on what Australia is good at to create a prosperous and sustainable economy and industry for our future generations. The key message to come out of this forum was that Indonesia remains a very willing and valuable trading partner, and the opportunities for our agricultural sector, and in particular our cattle producers, are immense. This is despite the former Labor government's attempts to not only fracture Australia's cattle industry, but to significantly strain our relationship with Indonesia by banning live exports without first mounting its own investigation into claims of animal cruelty. Madam Speaker, it's a credit to the Australian cattle industry and the coalition government that we've been able to rebuild these relationships. I've previously shown my support for Australian cattle producers and their fight against anti-live export campaigners who have resorted to threats and intimidation tactics to send their message. I believe it's important for all Australians to fight for those whose human welfare has been targeted, to fight for our farmers and to fight for Australia's key export industries. There are those on the other side of the chamber who'd be quick to criticise such a statement and say that if I support Australia's live export industry, then this must go hand with not caring about the welfare of animals. I would like my message to once again be clear. Nobody, including cattle producers and myself, wants to see cruelty to animals. My vision for Australia is one where a balance between regulations to protect the welfare of animals are in place, without hindering our cattle industry's ability to flourish and take advantage of market opportunities that countries such as Indonesia present. I believe the Abbott-led government is striking this balance and will continue to work with all parties involved to achieve this vision. Although the Broome Forum's focus was on the cattle industry, it has acted as an outlet for Australian government and industry to start, or perhaps continue, looking at ways to increase our exports to Indonesia by seizing on other investment opportunities. Increasing Australia's irrigated agriculture across the north, and in particular in my electorate of Durack, is just one example of how we can take advantage of investment opportunities with our Asian neighbours. I welcome the release of CSIRO's report, Mosaic Irrigation for the Northern Australian Beef Industry, dated 6 March, which assessed the water and agricultural potential for the Northern Australian beef industry. This assessment found that there is sufficient groundwater to sustain almost twice the area of land currently irrigated in Northern Australia, which at optimum efficiency could boost beef production by up to 6% or $200 million per year. Needless to say, the potential of Australia's agricultural industry is immense, but this potential will only be achieved if we work now to capitalise on our market opportunities, both domestically and internationally, with our Asian neighbours. Thank you.